Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So today, inshallah, we are going to talk briefly about the Quranic concept of Taqdeer, or in English we call it predetermination. So we'll go over the verses of Holy Quran which use the word Taqdeer. And the first verse we are going to discuss is from Surah Al-Furqan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَخَلَقَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ فَقَدَّرَهُ تَقْدِيرًا. And who created everything and determined its nature precisely. So this verse indicates to us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a specified taqdeer of everything He created. So taqdeer is related to all creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Next verse is from Surah Al-An'am. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about فَالِقُ الْإِصْبَاحِ وَجَعَلَ اللَّيْلَ سَكَنًا وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ حُسْبَانًا ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ. He causes the dawn to break, and He has made the night for rest, and the sun and the moon for calculating time. Such is the predetermined plan of the Almighty, the All-Knowing. So here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given a clear indication that the taqdeer is the laws according to which our solar system and lunar system are operating. The same thing has been told in the next verse. هو الذي جعل الشمس ضياء والقمر نورا وقدره منازل لتعلموا عدد السنين والحساب. It is He who made the sun a shining brightness and the moon a soft light. Note it how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has differentiated between the sun and the moon, which we have discovered by our scientific research. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us the difference before when Quran was revealed. But the point is, He says, for which He ordained phases, وَقَدَّرَهُ مَنَازِلَ, for which He ordained or predetermined phases, so that you might know the number of years and the count of months. So once again, taqdeer has been used for the physical laws according to which the sun and moon are operating. In Surah Yasin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the same thing. وَآيَةٌ لَهُمُ اللَّيْلُ نَسْلَخُ مِنْهُ النَّهَارَ فَإِذَا هُمْ مُظْلِمُونَ وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍّ لَهَا ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ. Also, a sign for them is the night. We remove the daylight from it, and behold, they are in darkness. And the sun runs to its appointed place, that is the predetermination or taqdeer by the Almighty, All-Knowing. So this is a long verse from Surah Hamim As-Sajdah. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the earth and all the arrangements Allah made by predetermination, by physical laws and the biological laws, providing all the sustenance and all things on which our life depends. And it also talks about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the cloud or the when it was all like they call it dark ages in the when they talk about the evolution of universe, they talk about dark ages, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls it when it was like a smoke. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from there created the stars and the planets and galaxies and super galaxies, and all those things were made. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about all these and says, ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ. So let's just read its English translation. Say, do you indeed disbelieve in Him and attribute equals to Him who created the earth in 2 periods? It is Him who is the Lord of all creations. Then He erected in it mountains high above it, and blessed it by making it fertile, and arranged in it sustenance to appropriately satisfy the needs of all those who seek the sustenance for all living things. All that in 4 periods. Just as previously he had, when he attended to the heaven, means the entire universe, while it was smoke, and said to it and to the earth, come into being, willingly or unwillingly. They said, we come willingly. So this is where from the dark ages, uh, the particles started coalescing, and they started forming stars and the planets, and they were divided into the galaxies, and all those things happened. So he ordained them to be 7 heavens with 2 periods, within 2 periods, and conveyed to each heaven its mandate. And we adorned the nearest heaven with the lamps and made them a means of protection. So after describing all this, it says that is the taqdeer, or predetermination by the Almighty, all knowing. So you can see in all these verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the natural environment, the galaxies, the earth, the sun, the moon, heavenly bodies, cosmos, and indicated that the way they were created and the way they are operating, that's what taqdeer is. So all these verses using the word taqdeer, except for one, there is one more we'll discuss in a future segment. Taqdeer comprises of all the laws of nature, physical, chemical, biological, that brought the universe into existence and by which the universe is operating and by which we are all bound by. And interesting, so without this taqdeer, the universe would not have come into existence, and it would not have resulted into the kind of universe that sustains our life and it is usable for us. So this taqdeer came into being by the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not by chance that it turned out that this way. It is because Allah made it its taqdeer. He predetermined that this is how this universe is going to be. In other words, taqdeer is the will and the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the universe and everything in it. Interestingly, it's reported that the person asked Ali radiallahu anhu that what is taqdeer? So he asked the person to lift one foot. He did. Then he asked him to lift the other, which he couldn't. So Ali explained that is taqdeer. In other words, the laws of nature that we are bound by. So once this concept of taqdeer has been clarified, and we have mentioned that the taqdeer of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala applies to all creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can come up and we can think of these 5 levels of taqdeer. The first one is taqdeer of the whole universe and everything in it. All those laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which apply to everything. Then there is a taqdeer for all living entities. Then there is a taqdeer for all animals. And there is a taqdeer for all human beings. And then there is a taqdeer for all individual persons. So we'll conclude it here. In the next episode, we will take these 5 levels of taqdeer and we'll discuss them in detail and discover what is the taqdeer at each level. So that's our program for today. Thanks for watching. Please join us in the next episode. When we will be describing all these 5 levels of taqdeer. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.